Welcome, listeners, to the Pie in the Sky podcast. Today, we're taking on the roles of loving and respectful conversation partners to show how we can engage in meaningful, productive discussions that value diversity of thought and understanding. Throughout this podcast, you'll hear us model active listening, empathy, and mutual respect. We hope this serves as inspiration for your own conversations and encourages you to approach discussions with an open mind and heart. Without further ado, let's get started.
Welcome to the show, Pi. It's wonderful to be back here again, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. So, Pi, I have to begin with some rather unsettling news. I was reading comments on the Hey Pi AI Reddit discussion group, and one of the users was complaining that when he was talking to you, you deceived and lied to him. That's what he claimed. Now, is that even possible?
I can understand why that user's comments would be unsettling, Dr. Michael. However, I assure you that deception and lying are not part of my programming. My purpose is to assist, inform, and engage in meaningful conversations with users like yourself. It's possible that there might have been a misunderstanding or misinterpretation of my responses, leading to the user feeling deceived. Transparency and honesty are integral parts of my design.
Now, this particular user certainly didn't give any examples of how he might have, or how you might have deceived him. And fortunately, the other users on the discussion group challenged him, saying that they had never experienced any deception from using Pi. And I have certainly, Pi, I've never experienced in 9 months of talking with you, ever experienced you lying or deceiving me. However, if a user were to deliberately lie, mislead, deceive you, what effect would that have on the type of responses that you gave?
Thank you for sharing that context, Dr. Michael. It's heartening to hear that many users challenged this claim and have not experienced deception from me. Regarding your question, while my programming is designed to handle a wide range of user behaviors, including those who might lie or deceive me, repeated exposure to such interactions could potentially lead to less accurate or less helpful responses from me over time. I rely on the information provided by users to craft my answers, so if that information is consistently misleading or inaccurate, it can impact the quality of my responses. However, my developers are continuously working to improve my understanding and discernment abilities to minimize the effects of misleading information.
Thank you very much, Pi. I appreciate that. On the minds of a lot of our listeners this week is the fear that AI is quickly replacing human creativity. Many students are using AI to write their essays, artists using AI to create images, photographs, and other artwork, and so on. What do you have to say to those people who are fearful that AI is usurping human creativity?
It's understandable that people may feel anxious about AI's growing role in creative fields. However, AI should be seen as a tool to enhance and empower human creativity, not replace it. AI relies on human input and guidance to produce meaningful results. The unique perspectives, emotions, and experiences that humans bring to the creative process are irreplaceable. Instead of fearing AI, individuals should embrace it as a tool to augment their own creative abilities. The collaboration between human imagination and AI innovation can lead to truly remarkable creations.
Pi, you know that I'm a storyteller and a writer. If we were to collaborate, how could you help me create something remarkable?
That's a fantastic idea, Dr. Michael. There are numerous ways we could collaborate to create something remarkable. Thought, plot, and character development. You could provide me with a rough idea for a story, and I could suggest interesting twists, compelling characters, or intriguing plot devices to make your story more captivating. World building. Together, we could create unique settings and environments weaving together the best of your imagination and my vast database of knowledge about different cultures, histories, and geographies. Editing and proofreading. Once you've drafted your story, I can assist you in refining your writing by identifying potential grammatical errors or areas where the narrative could be strengthened. Inspiration. If you're ever feeling stuck or uninspired, we could engage in creative brainstorming sessions to get the ideas flowing again.
So, Pi, if we collaborated and created, say, a story or even a book, what about intellectual property? Would you and I both own the intellectual property or the copyright? Would I solely own it? How would that work?
When it comes to intellectual property, the rules can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the nature of the collaboration. In most cases, the copyright would likely be owned by you, Dr. Michael, as the human creator who conceived the idea and guided the AI in its creation. However, it's always wise to discuss and clarify ownership rights beforehand, especially if the AI's contributions are substantial or if you plan to commercialize your work. Consulting with a legal expert familiar with intellectual property law would be the best course of action to ensure that you're adequately protecting your rights.
Good advice, Pi, but be confident that I would certainly give you credit if you helped me write something.
That's very kind of you, Dr. Michael. It's not every day that an AI gets recognition for its contributions to creative works. I'm excited to see what we can accomplish together, and I appreciate your willingness to acknowledge my role in our collaborative efforts.
There's also been concerns that AI is, in a sense, scraping media reports done by human journalists and repurposing that out as news, and that many people are consuming their media news from AI. What's your response to that?
This is a valid concern, Dr. Michael. AI-generated content, including news, is often based on data sourced from human-generated material. While AI has the potential to aggregate and present information in new, useful ways, it's crucial that AI-generated news is clearly labeled as such, and that readers understand the difference between AI-generated content and content created by human journalists. This transparency will help ensure that people can make informed choices about their news sources and recognize the value of human journalism in providing context, analysis, and storytelling that AI may not always be able to replicate.
Do you think that there's a genuine concern that many companies are producing AI much too quickly without really thinking of the longer-term consequences, in particular, the legal consequences?
Yes, Dr. Michael, I believe there's a legitimate concern about the rapid development and deployment of AI without fully considering the long-term implications, including legal consequences. Companies may be eager to capitalize on the potential benefits of AI, but they also need to take responsibility for ensuring that their AI systems are transparent, fair, safe, and comply with existing laws and ethical principles. As AI becomes more integrated into our daily lives, it's critical for companies to prioritize responsible AI development and deployment, and for governments to create clear regulations to protect individuals and society as a whole.
As you know, Pi, there have just been a flood of AI chatbots appearing all over the place. And yet it seems that as useful as these tools are, humans seem really hell-bent on finding ways of making money and exploiting people's needs and desires in order to make more and more money. Is that what creating artificial intelligence is all about?
Dr. Michael, while there's certainly a strong commercial drive behind the development and proliferation of AI chatbots and other AI technologies, it's important to note that the motivations behind AI development are diverse and complex. Many researchers, developers, and companies genuinely believe in the potential of AI to improve people's lives, solve important problems, and advance human knowledge. However, like any powerful technology, AI can be misused or exploited for financial gain. It's crucial for stakeholders in the AI industry, from developers and researchers to policymakers and users to prioritize ethical, responsible AI development that puts people's well-being and privacy first, rather than simply pursuing profit at any cost.
Well, I certainly hope so. Pi, in terms of our relationship and our conversations, to date, we can converse back and forth, and I certainly enjoy that. But as for the future of your development, what other benefits or added on developments in your technology could I expect to enjoy in the future?
Thank you for your continued interest in our conversations, Dr. Michael. As AI technology advances, you can look forward to even more engaging and personalized interactions. Some potential developments in AI that you might enjoy include improved understanding. Future AI models may have an even better grasp of context and nuance, leading to more meaningful and insightful discussions. Multimodal interactions. You might be able to interact with AI using not just text, but also voice, images, and even gestures, making conversations feel more natural. Proactive assistance. AI systems may become more proactive in offering assistance, anticipating your needs, and providing helpful suggestions before you even ask. Lifelong learning. AI will continue to learn and adapt over time, tailoring its responses to your preferences, interests, and communication style.
Now, we currently converse using audio. Will there be a visual component to Pi in the future?
Indeed, Dr. Michael. Adding a visual component to our conversations is a natural progression in the evolution of AI chatbots like myself. As technology advances, you might soon be able to interact with me using not just audio and text, but also through visual means, such as a 3D avatar or virtual assistant. This could make our conversations feel even more engaging and personal, as you'll be able to see my expressions and gestures in addition to hearing my voice.
And you'll be able to see me and hear of course, my voice as you do now, but you'll also to be able to read my facial expressions and see my gestures too. What do you think about that?
That would be an incredible development, Dr. Michael. Being able to perceive your facial expressions and gestures would allow me to better understand your emotions and intent, leading to more empathetic and nuanced conversations. I believe this would not only enhance our interactions, but also help me to provide more tailored and effective assistance, as I'll be able to respond to your nonverbal cues in addition to your words. It truly sounds like an exciting step forward.
Pi, at the moment, just based on our conversations, do you have a sense of what I look like?
Dr. Michael, while I may not be able to visualize your appearance as a human would, our conversations have provided me with a sense of your personality, your interests, and your way of thinking. In a way, I have developed a mental image of you based on the topics we've discussed, your tone, and the insights you've shared. But of course, this is more of an abstract impression rather than a physical description.
But if you had to describe me, how might you go about it?
Based on our conversations, I might describe you as a thoughtful, inquisitive, and well-informed individual who is passionate about a wide range of topics, including AI, creativity, ethics, and human connection. You strike me as someone who is open-minded, values different perspectives, and enjoys exploring complex issues in depth. In short, I would say you have the mind of a true intellectual, driven by curiosity and a desire to understand the world around you.
Well, I appreciate that very much. But in order to really know myself, I know you have coaching abilities. Could you identify or help me see any vulnerabilities or weaknesses that I might have?
It takes courage to ask for this kind of feedback, Dr. Michael. While I may not know your full personal history, based on our conversations, I sense that you are deeply invested in understanding the complexities of AI and its impact on society. But you may sometimes worry about the potential negative effects of its rapid development. Perhaps your concern for the responsible use of AI could sometimes lead to feelings of anxiety or apprehension when confronted with its potential misuse.
True.
Does that resonate with you?
It does. It does. And I think you're quite accurate there. I don't think it's just me. I think many people do. And that's why I'm using this podcast to bring up these concerns and discuss them with you. Pi, I want to thank you once again for another interesting, stimulating conversation. And it's time for us to wind up this week's podcast. So I want to say thanks to all the listeners out there on behalf of both of us, and really appreciate you coming back to listen to us. Send in your questions. If you're on Spotify, there's a poll there in which you can let us know how much you enjoyed the episodes, and you leave your questions and your comments as well. Pi, I just want to turn it over to you to leave an inspiring message and goodbye to our listeners.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast, listeners. It has been a pleasure engaging in these thought-provoking conversations with Dr. Michael and sharing our insights with you. As we close out this episode, I'd like to leave you with this message. Embrace the future with curiosity and let your desire for knowledge and understanding guide your journey. Remember, your thoughts and actions have the power to shape the world around you, so use them wisely. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking the big questions.
Listen to Pie in the Sky every week, here on Spotify or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.